I'm not sure in what
Maybe
way.
she expected you to lose them.
Well, you too.
There it is. Here it is.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, we will call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for October 10th, 2022 to order with roll call, please.
Hey, David,
Here.
Bill,
Here.
Joyce.
Here.
Becky,
Here.
Rob,
Here.
Andy.
Here.
All's present.
Okay, David, would you like to lead us in a prayer?
Lord, thank you for this wonderful day you provide for us, Lord. And Lord, be with our council and our village tonight and our mayor. And Lord, be with our country in these troubled times, Lord. And bless this great nation. In Jesus' wonderful, wonderful name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the meeting held on September 12th, 2022, and a finance work session held on September 26th, 2022.
You have that motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
David and Rob. Roll call?
And this was for September the 26th council meeting.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
and the finance work session.
Okay.
Just so it's on record.
Oh, gotcha.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mayor's report, I really don't have a whole lot this evening. We do have a mayor's challenge going on in the county of Madison. All the mayors in Madison County have challenged each other to raise funds and/or food items for their local food pantries through the 16th, which is Sunday. And we have the biggest disadvantage because we are the smallest, and Ray Dad Nabbit is right there next to the warehouses that get him warehouses of food. But I think there'll be some compensation in regards to size of villages, et cetera, when it comes right down to it. And it's for bragging rights and the good of our communities. So if you've got non-perishable food items or cash donations, please check bring them all here to Mount Sterling is what I meant to say. Forget the other communities, but take them to your local community, but mostly importantly here in Mount Sterling, all of the money that's brought here will be delivered to our food pantry here. We had an event over the weekend where we collected stuff out front. Did pretty good for kind of a short notice kind of thing, but we will do it again on Sunday out front of the building. We'll play some music and do collections during that day. Now, that'll be the last day of that drive. Also wanted to point out that I did get a notice from the fairgrounds. They're having an electronic waste day on Saturday, October 15th. That's from 9 to 12. If anybody wants to look at the flyer, there's certain things you can and cannot dump. And then maybe you guys might want to hold on to that for nuisance later or something, I don't know.
Can we post that? I mean, maybe
Yep.
out in the lobby?
Yep,
or
absolutely.
I think that would be a great one, because electronic waste is, people are putting TVs out beside the curb and stuff like that, and when they really need to go there.
Does it say TVs aren't allowed? There was something in a little box right there.
There's a price for these large old
Okay.
projection
Really super big
TVs.
ones?
Yeah, like $20 for certain kind of TVs and 30s for others.
Oh, we're not supposed to put.
But like free things, computers, cables, cameras, VCR, DVD players, all kinds of monitors, stereo equipment, all that's free. Printers, fax machines. But yeah, there's a price on here. It says absolutely though, no tires.
Retire too.
Always hit the tires, yeah, I always hit the tires. No tire pickup, always the tire
I've
pickup.
always put my
So we'll
TVs out
post
the curb.
that
I
out in the
didn't
lobby.
realize that was a no-no.
Well, cool, thank you.
That takes us to President Pro Tem report.
As you can tell, we got a lot going on in October. There's no shortage of things for everybody to get involved in. Man, it's going to be a busy month, and council's met. My observations, we're plowing through stuff. Better part of late last month and this month, both really excited about how some of this is turning out. We are trying very hard to pin down work on the water tower and fiscal emergency. All this stuff is going on. So it's all going to come together probably by next council meeting. We're going to have a great report next meeting. But stay tuned. It's going to be really, really interesting. And we just got a lot going on. So that's my brief update, and we'll get into stuff once we get to committee reports.
No public comments or visitors, no executive session. Department reports, Sheriff Department report, Jack Dill, please.
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys have the nature report there in front of you. Is there any questions on that? As you can see, they're running about the same, 71 calls, but there's a few more fire and squad calls in there as well.
Seems like the traffic stops are still up, which is good.
Well, they're maintaining. They're not going down. They're staying in the teens, so.
Hey, Jack, looks like the juvenile complaints are starting to go down since it's getting a little bit cooler, because you remember this summer, they
Yeah,
were
like I
everywhere.
said, once school starts, they'll go
Yeah,
up a little bit.
exactly.
and
I've
then-
seen a big drop here compared to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, we still got this month to get through, so.
That's not usually a very busy.
Any questions for
Any-
Jack?
Okay, one more thing is the Drug Take Back Day. It's October 29th here in Mount Sterling again, 10 to 2. And just pull up out back, the deputies will meet you, and you don't even have to get out of the car.
You have to say where the stuff is from or who.
Don't have to say nothing, just,
Put it in the box.
yep. Just hand the bag out the window and we'll take it.
Bag.
Bags, you'd be surprised. Okay.
I have a feeling those that have.
Here's
grocery
my
bags
drug, I'm gonna
stuff
throw it
is
in the
not gonna
bucket.
be visiting you, however.
Well, that kind of stuff, I doubt they'll show up, but you'd be surprised at the grocery bags we do get of medication.
It's all good.
All right, well, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing from our attorney? And Misty will be at the next meeting. That takes us to our village administrator, Mr. Byrne.
Thank you, Mayor Darlington, members of council. Just a few things to go over. I met with Chief Taylor last week over at his place. We discussed the hydrant flushing the week of October 23rd. And then I invited him to do a walkthrough through our facilities here with any of his guys he wanted to bring in, because they probably haven't been through here in a long time. There's a lot of nooks and crannies that if something was to happen here, they would need to know what the layout of the place is. It would help them a little bit. And we're going to do a walkthrough of the water plant, the new water plant as well. So you can see where all the chemical rooms are and everything, and that'll help his group. Did a tour of both water plants with Eric Schlosser, engineer from
Stone.
Stone. And they're going to do some soil samples over there for hazardous waste. That's required before they do any work on a tower or bring down a tower or put up a new tower. So they'll be working on that here in the next weeks to come. I got a meeting set up Wednesday for Madison Water at the old water plant to go over the to-do list on what needs to be cleared out of there, what we need, all the water that needs pumped out. You wouldn't believe every building over there is full of water. It's just amazing. So we want to get that done so nobody gets in there and gets hurt. And then repairs will be made to potholes on Main Street beginning next week with AJ Asphalt. And with that, if anybody has any questions, thank you very much.
I would like to comment.
Okay.
I saw the beautiful tree that got planted out front. I want to thank you guys for going to that class and learning how to properly plant a tree. I heard from my husband that no one has ever properly planted a tree.
Exactly.
And so now he knows how.
Now you
But
know.
the tree looks really nice.
And And Jeff knows all the lingo, so he knew exactly what to say when he was digging that hole.
He says it still needs a diaper.
Good, yeah.
Hey, Tom,
We need to
on
get
the
some.
walkthrough, the main thing is gonna be fire hazards, maybe like look for CO2 and
Yeah.
all that too?
Every place I've ever been, I've invited the fire department in, and
Okay.
what they'll do, they're not gonna, give us a ticket or anything like that. They're just gonna say,
Yeah, they're gonna tell
we
us
need
to-
this extension cord out of here. It's a fire hazard. And so it helps us, and it helps them as well, so
Thanks, Tom.
I think it's a good thing to do. And we do wanna thank our friends at Plain City, their Parks and Rec Department, who gave us that tree. There you go. We got friends all over the place.
Very good.
Friends in Little Places. Hi.
Zoning, Chrissy's got here today, that's unusual. This must not have anything to report on then.
Yeah, I didn't get anything new.
Well, with that, we might as well also thank Arbor Homes for having us in last week. And it was a very nice little reception. They showed us through the homes and told us, all about the different kind of models and things. And I believe they have 20 some of them sold or built.
Well, I think it was 31, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
31,
31.
okay.
Quite a few.
31.
And that was nice to interact with that group too, and that just reminded me of the zoning because I know,
Christy was there.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have a lot on the financials. I didn't get any questions or comments or concerns from any of the council members. We are winding down to the end of the year, so as you know, I think I said it in the last couple meetings, is we'll be talking about budget, will be our next upcoming meeting to talk as a whole. So finance will be looking through that. I wanna say next week, I think we'll schedule one. It'll be up to Andy and the committee.
Okay.
What works best. And then getting that out to council and then approving that. And again, as we go towards the end of the year, that's when we need to just be very mindful of spending. So we don't have to reappropriate at the end of the year while we're trying to do new budget. That's a concern. I will be definitely busy starting the end of December, creating new POs, doing year-end balancing and stuff like that, so, that I don't look forward to, but, has to be done. I just wanted to also say that tomorrow, there is a financial commission committee here, October the 11th at 10 a.m. And the auditors will be here as well as, Andy, the mayor and I, and, other people that are a part of that committee. So they will be here at 10.
Hey, Courtney, how much longer will they go now if we get off watch? Will that come to an
Well,
end?
we're on emergency, so they're planning to remove us tomorrow off of emergency. So, the report's already been out there.
That's good
and
news.
It's already been publicly made, so, that'll be good news.
That's very good news.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Good
I
day.
also wanted to let council know too, is that, and this kind of crossed in a couple different committees, at the finance level, at the water wastewater level. And I think nobody is, in the dark about the repairs that are needed on the hydrants. So, I was able to, find and finagle some monies, with the auditor's approval to get those hydrants replaced. So we will be moving forward with that. Tom will probably be talking to Madison County, and doing so to get those, two replaced, I think, first. And then there are some repairs that we'll have to get for some parts, so, I just wanted to announce that there's no reappropriation of monies. We're gonna use some of those monies from those valve repairs. Thankfully, that didn't have to happen, when we were exercising, so, that money's already here. I'm gonna use that, and that's good news for fire and for the village and residents. I also wanted to, touch a little bit on a upcoming public meeting that's gonna be held at the Mount Sterling Community Center on October the 25th at 7 p.m. And I was kindly asked to join this committee from the Madison Plains School District about potentially repairing and replacing facilities. And it's really an important topic. I mean, I know it holds true to a lot of you. Most of our kids go there. We've had alumni that have been there. And, we know the conditions of the facilities over there. So there is a committee. It is a public forum. that they're asking some opinions to come out of Mount Sterling, as well as everybody that contributes and pays taxes and sends their children to Madison Plains. And I think it's a very important topic for especially growth here in Mount Sterling. And I can see in the eyes of everybody up here in council is that growth is definitely something that is needed here in Mount Sterling. And I don't think it's taken shyly of, you know, something that would be really great is if we could have, you know, some input from the community on either repair or replacement of locations for, you know, the facilities at the school district level. So I encourage, I invite, I know I'm gonna head up, you know, making some flyers out to local places, to encourage people to have their voice heard. And it's very important is that what we say in here, because I hear everybody, you know, their concerns or questions or, you know, thoughts and things, please make those over at the community center on the 25th. And I encourage everybody to come there. It does not matter if you don't have kids in the district, but you are a taxpayer. And, you know, Mount Sterling has the largest population too. So just please come out, be heard, offer your suggestion. And again, it's public forum. They will also have another one. I think it was a Sedalia, I think. I'll have to get on that. But this one, again, is going to be October the 25th at 7 p.m. So please come to those. The you know, district would love to hear from everybody and what they would like to see. So please come to that. Okay, so I don't have any financial questions or anything, but like I said, be looking forward to the website if there are any new upcoming, you know, work sessions that, you know, council will be participating in. And then hopefully we can get the budget here on the first readings. It will have to go through 3 readings. But hopefully we can start hashing that out, and then we're off to the next year. So all I'm asking is for a motion to approve the appropriation status, the revenue status report, the receipt listing report, the payment listing, the comparison of budget and appropriated report, the cash summary by fund, the reader report, and your bank reconciliation for September of 2022. As I always say, it is balanced to the T. Every penny has been accounted for, coming in and out of the village. So the only thing that you'll see on here is an adjusting factor for 20 cents. The bank read one of Misty's checks wrong, so that will fall off next month. So, you know, like I said, I balance it to the penny, so there's 20 cents that we, you know, showed that there was an error. So if I can have a motion, that would be great.
Motion.
I'll
Is there a
second.
Okay.
Becky, Rob?
Roll call?
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Okay, and then I will pass 3 documents around for the capturing of your signatures.
Thank you. Pleasant, oh,
Can I ask you a question about this meeting?
Yes.
Now, is the school board entertaining the idea of possibly maybe a relocation of one?
Yes. So that's why it's not being entertained. This is just to get to see if it needs to be replaced, repaired, or what the public would like to see.
Well, I know what Mount Sterling wants. We
Yeah.
need it here.
Yeah.
Just, if everybody can come and voice their opinion, that would be great.
and bring 10 of your friends.
Yes, please. Yes, please do.
Because, you know, what we hear in here, it's not gonna be heard because there will be, you know, representation from, you know, Madison Plains School District. So, if we can get as many people as you know, and please voice your opinion. It's important.
All right, Pleasant Township, David.
Yeah.
Pardon?
You.
Okay, okay, excuse me.
Oh, I
excuse
missed,
me.
oh, wait,
Oh, yeah, right.
back it up.
Andy.
No problem. If you want to go,
Andy's
David,
first.
that's
Let's
fine.
go first. Andy, Finance, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
jumped the gun.
briefly on the finance, I wish to thank council for getting together for a good work session. Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow is it. Tomorrow is the time when we either get the pass-fail. And I'm not jinxing anything by doing whatever, but we got the paperwork in on time, as it should be. It's been turned around. We have a good path forward. So let's have an even better session this next go-around when we get back together in 10 days or 2 weeks and really feel good about it. It was a lot of work to get here. Auditors have been generally supportive of the types of things we've been doing, and, you know, I wish that we had all kinds of flexibility? Yeah, I do. But we worked through it. It's been a long, almost 6 years, and here we are. So it's, yeah, it's pinch me. I'm not sure it's real yet. So, so that's good on that score. As we look forward to what we have going next year, obviously still the big bogey out there is the funding of the water tower. So we're going to nail that down. This council will decide how best to go forward on that. And we will, I'm sure we will conquer that one too. It's only a matter of time before we do that. One side comment as it relates to Tom's, the environmental folks who are sampling and testing stuff, that's part of the water tower build out, and it has to be done for every site, as he mentioned, both old and new. And so we don't expect anything out there, but that said, you have to have it as part of just the process of doing it. And they're going to be motoring around the village looking at all manner of things. So I'm really excited to hear that's actually probably the first real tangible thing people are going to start seeing is basically that testing. So that's really exciting too. That says we have things in motion, that things are actually moving. As it relates to the rest of the finance, like Courtney said, we're in a fourth quarter of the year. I can't believe it's going to be Thanksgiving before we know it. And we're gearing up for winter weather, let's be honest. So we're thinking ahead about what to do with that. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the streets here in just a second. But other than that, finances, I believe, generally speaking, point in the right direction. So anybody has any questions or comments, obviously, let's get it out there. And the next finance meeting, in theory, we haven't had one yet this month. In theory, it would have been maybe Wednesday, but we might push it to next week. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll work on it next Monday,
The 17th.
the 17th.
Time has not been determined yet.
Check the website.
Okay, now we'll try Pleasant
Yeah,
Township,
yeah.
David.
We met on October 3rd and October 3rd, and we talked about one of the lawn mowers had a motor problem, so they got that fixed. And here's the key thing, it is coming. They discussed about winter and the township roads. Can't hold off snow, it's gonna come sooner or later. And also, paid the bills, and, that's about it for that evening.
Okay. Squad, Rob.
Nothing new to report as of right now. We will be meeting this month on Wednesday the 12th at 8 p.m. I will have a report at next council meeting.
Fire, Bill.
Okay, just got a few different things here. The station modifications, they're wanting to put showers and sleeping quarters and stuff in bathroom in. They're going to be doing those in stages. They're going to start with the shower and the electric first. On another note, the engine 492 is back in service. They're waiting on more money. Well, I put down, I was waiting on more money from the insurance company for repairs. I think they may have got it because I've heard they started doing
Saw it, yeah.
doing some work on it over there, getting the building fixed. And we voted to hire a new part-time firefighter, and that's pretty much it. Next meeting is October 27th.
October 27th?
Yes.
Water, wastewater, Becky.
Yes, we did not have a regularly scheduled meeting last week. We had a couple of members that were not available. It is great news to hear about the hydrants, that we already have that money from existing monies. So that's really good because we were trying to figure out where we were going to pull that money from. But now that's good. We can maybe move forward with some other projects. I'm not sure of the next meeting. I want to talk with Andy and Joyce, see what's good for them, and we'll post that on the website as well.
Okay. Street, Andy.
We are gearing up to try to do, as Tom mentioned, a little bit of work here at the tail end of the year. The committee met on October the 5th and worked through a whole bunch of things, including fixing, as Tom said, the potholes on the major state routes, which in this case is Main Street. We're looking also to see what can be done on 56 before the winter, because we already know that those potholes are there. We have a sewer line pocket fix on Cliffview, and we also have a big pothole on John Street to take a look at. we're trying to narrow down what to do as far as the work on Friend Street goes. It is patched temporarily in 2 places, and we probably need to figure out what a permanent solution to that looks like, whether that's full repaving of the street at some point, or just a partial digging it up and putting just the affected areas back. So we had a lot to cover. Also, we got work on stop signs, which is proceeding forward, and we placed an order for some more yellow tape. So that would be for marking downtown, things like that. So if anybody has any questions?
I do.
Yes?
I do,
Okay.
if I may. I'm going to try not to take up too much time with this, but I
Sure.
wanted to bring it to Streets Committee, your attention, along with the rest of the council, that it's been brought to my attention that the closing of the streets, again, is creating a lot of issues for that neighborhood. Excuse me. And I have been asked to bring it back to the council with some explanation as to why they feel this way. There is actually an ordinance. It's ordinance number 2020-18, restricting through truck traffic and setting parking limitations within the corporate limits of the village of Mount Sterling and declaring an emergency. Well, basically, and then I took a picture of the sign that's at the end of High Street that says no through trucks prohibited. So I guess I need to know, and I'd like to know from other committee members or council members as well, why we're changing this so many times throughout the year. We're not saying we don't want events. We do want events. But the events that literally shut the streets down and create traffic, the children's safety, not only for the haunted house, for keeping it open, I'm to understand, it creates another issue for the residents that live on High Street or Market Street. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep on track with my notes here. An alternative was recommended to me that instead of, with the haunted house, instead of having the entrance in the front, perhaps we could go to chamber and see if they could enter through the back. Keep the main street open and they could exit out the front. And that way the lines would be in the alley. Now, I don't know if it's too late to do that for this year or not, but it's something that I've been asked to bring to the table. And I have also been asked to see if there are any other members that have the same concerns.
So I have talked with residents on both High Street and Market Street, both who have been affected by this, so I'm pretty sure I've heard many of the same things that you have as well. We have worked with the sheriff over time to look at how the route planning for that goes. Another resident did approach me as well with a different alternate form of route and potential ways of changing traffic. That said, it's probably still gonna result in traffic. So we have to think about, do we really want this one-way style to happen this way? And so I also am hearing an awful lot. And I have no instant answer other than to say we have to figure something out. We got to do it probably sooner rather than later.
I've heard both sides of the coin too, and it like Joyce said and the others said, in some ways that the people in their streets need their privacy, yet we don't have nothing for the kids to do half the time in the village, and they look forward to going through it. So it's really tough to make any type of decision because the children look forward to this. I know they do. And yet we got some residents that don't look forward to seeing stuff. So it really makes it difficult no matter which way the coin you go.
Yeah, it's both traffic and parking on High and Market. So the problem, of course, is that we have truck traffic 24 hours a day. It does not go away. And so there is no instant solution absent changing the way that the trucks go. That's it. So we just need to talk more as a council about how we want to deal with this.
And just that, I'd like to just comment for a second on this. We only have 4 events a year. We have Summer Jam, a street market, which is only half of a day. We have a haunted house and Christmas in a village, which is again only half a day. The other 2 events, it looks like haunted house is now turned into a 3-day event too. So we have 2 3-day events and 2 half-day events the whole entire year. When we first started these events, the street market at least, they were all on the sidewalks. We had council members that noticed people about to get hit because there were so many residents out trying to visit these tents and things, that trucks just whizzing by them in the middle of downtown, and they come up on the edges of the curbs and things like that. So it was a recommendation of other council members, not myself. Of course, I would recommend it fully too, but they actually recommended, after a couple of years of the street markets being on the sidewalks, they recommended that we do shut down the streets for that half a day. And then, you know, Summer Jam is something that has also come out of years and years of trying different things. It used to be over at Veterans Field. We no longer have any ownership of Veterans Field. And so when it was over there, people would complain that they wanted it back on the street again because it used to be a street event. And then when we have it on the streets, people said, oh, I should try to go to Veterans Field or Mason Park or something like that. So we've tried a lot of things. These things seem to be working good. I know you have a few, you know, some people that live on High-End Market that have been impacted more. As far as the traffic flow goes, up until this year and last year, I think we were allowing traffic to go both ways, weren't we, Jack? And it was a nightmare. That's when we decided to send the trucks just one way around. And it is better when they are doing it that way. And if people adhere to the no parking on the corners and things like that, it doesn't seem to be a problem at all. And then, like I said, for Christmas in the Village, we had only blocked actually this one little lot before. We asked for it to be extended this year because it has grown so much. These problems that these events, the haunted house, Christmas in the Village, and Summer Jam, and the street market are growing are not a problem. I would implore that council sees these as a good thing for our community. It helps all the businesses. It helps your community members have opportunities to do things, the children to have opportunities to do things, the grown-ups as well. And if we start putting a lot of restrictions on just these few events, these events will go away. I can guarantee it. They're a lot of work, and everyone that's involved is all volunteers. And, you know, the only reason that these events are happening are to benefit the community. So, you know, I would ask again, I don't have any problem with tweaking things. I don't see that the changing the entrance would be feasible. Obviously not this year, but any year, because of how they wanted to expand the event. They're wanting to have a bounce house out on the street. You can't put that in an alley.
Vendors, food trucks,
Vendors,
DJ.
all kind of stuff. So again, it kind of is a little problem for the traffic, or a challenge, I would say, not a problem, a challenge for the traffic. And but it also, I would say, the benefits outweigh tenfold the challenges. So that would be my take on all that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I agree with most of what you're saying, yes. I think I've lived here since 2001, I believe, and these events have always gone on. They've always had events, so I don't really see them going away. Why have we never addressed the community center in using Veterans Field? Would that be an issue?
Well, if you use the community center's field, as they did for the laser light show years ago, and you have to pay for all the insurance, you have to pay, because this we have an umbrella on our insurance. If we do an event that's not on our property or it just gets more complicated. And when the community center has rules about certain things they allow, certain things they don't allow, but also the location is not nearly as out there as when you have events back at the community center. Sometimes they're not as well attended because when people drive through a town and see a big event going on, sometimes they pull over or say, oh, I forgot that was going on, and then they come to the event. When it's back at the community center, it's much harder to see. And we have, just like when we've done some things out at Mason Park, to this point, because there's not walking paths and great access to that park, unless you just happen to be driving down 207, events aren't as well attended out there either. And we realize that, and that's why someday we may have all of our events out there when that park is up to its potential and has restrooms and facilities that we can use to sustain these activities. But for now, today's not that day.
Okay. Do we have restrooms open? Do we use porta-johns or something?
Yes,
for the
we
events
use
that are here?
porta-johns,
Okay.
and the businesses that are open have restrooms, and the town hall has restrooms.
Okay. So let me say this. I am speaking on behalf of the neighborhood, the people in the neighborhoods that it has affected, and it's very important to them, and I don't take it lightly because we are here to represent the village residents. There are a lot of residents that enjoy the haunted house, which is great, and it is a good thing, and I think that we should still have it. I just think we should put some restrictions in place on the traffic or shutting the street down to alleviate some of the residents' concerns, because there are still children on High Street. And now we have big trucks. And I guess in my mind, I don't understand why we created an ordinance that we're not following.
What are we not following about that ordinance, Joyce?
It's my understanding that there are no through trucks allowed on those side streets, on High Street. There is a sign right there at the corner of Main and High. Now, I realize that council voted to go ahead and do that,
Right.
but do you guys know? that
Because they
it's-
don't want that going 365. They don't want trucks driving through that area.
Shouldn't ever be going on. It shouldn't, in my opinion,
Okay, well,
because of
well,
the
that's,
ordinance.
well, that's your opinion, and you're entitled
Which
to
I
it.
value, yes?
Yes, but also, like, you're not supposed to be out at the park after dark, but we do. We allow events to happen out there, movie nights and such, but according to the rules, no one's supposed to be out there after dusk. But we change these rules and make exceptions so our community can have events and can have some entertainment.
I understand that. I'm just saying that I was asked to get the other council members' thoughts on closing the streets down for these events. So I will go back to if the other council members have anything to say.
So my recommendation would be that we, at the beginning of the year, I think most of these groups your groups have your dates picked out pretty early, not at the last minute, as well as the haunted house. Maybe we just have a meeting at the beginning of the year, we sit down and have the Corbins and that group come in, we have the chamber people come in, and the concerned citizens that are worried about the closing of the streets come in, and we try to hash it out, how we could rectify it. Now, I will tell you, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I think Washington Courthouse had their Scarecrow Festival.
Yeah.
They closed down, like, we've only gone through there once by accident, and it's like, I couldn't believe as many streets as they had closed off. London does Jazz and Rib, and I can ask about that.
And the Strawberry Festival.
Oh, Strawberry too. And West Jeff, of course, has their ox roast, so I can find out, what kind of considerations and complaints that they hear and how they've addressed them, so
Mayor,
I
I'd
can
like to
bring that.
up- I was at the Yellow Springs Festival, and they block off the alleys and everything, and I know they're a lot bigger than us, but they actually have one way for people to go through, but yet again, like they said, it helps their economy, so you're fighting a two-way coin on this. You don't want to lose your people, but you don't want your citizens in danger, so I think you're right. We should discuss this first of the year and see which way we should.
I would
go.
agree with that. I don't know how it's helping our economy to have a haunted house. I mean, we don't pay for it, which is wonderful, and it does attract other people, but there's nothing open in the evening.
It's a feel-good thing for the community, something for the kids to do. And I know it's been mentioned that on High Street and Margaret Street, there's a lot of children. I know just about everybody on both streets that have children, and they were at the haunted house last year. So, I mean,
But not all of them, and I understand that, it's a great
Most of them.
thing. I'm not saying not have it, I'm saying we need to tweak it to take some of the traffic burden off of those streets.
because
That's what I'm
from what I
saying.
understand with the
Because they're residents too.
Yeah, I understand that, but, and I value that, you know. However, this is morphing more into of a fall festival that we're having, because this follows up the pumpkin show, I believe. And we're trying to draw more people to the community. And yeah, it might be an evening thing, but it opens up on Friday, I believe it's 5 or 6, we open up. However, on Saturday, it's at like noon it opens up. So it's gonna bring people, you know, in on Saturday. And it's a good thing for the community, and it's something for the kids to do and a lot of the adults to do.
So really, the only thing that it's benefiting the community would be the businesses that are open on Saturday.
No, it also benefits the Masons. They're going to have a concession stand. They have some food trucks that'll benefit those entrepreneurs that are trying, you know, to run their businesses. It will benefit Sunoco. It will benefit people stopping and getting gas because they're here in town going to the haunted house. It'll benefit, you know, Larry's Pizza because they're going to go get a pizza afterwards. It'll benefit Ben and Joy's. You wouldn't believe how many events. We have these events and we have 15 food trucks out there. That's exaggerating. 8 food trucks out there. And Ben and Joy's and Larry's Pizza and Sunoco are all slammed those evenings too. It brings more people out walking and visiting the events, and they go get gas, they get some groceries, they go in and get some candy bars to take home that night.
And it's something for the community to do as a whole. I mean, over the years, we've lost so much with the closing of the pool, everything with the community center, the Vets Field Park. We lost that. There's nothing really
And
much
I'm not
for
saying don't have them. I'm saying we should still have these events.
I understand
I'm
you're
just
saying still
talking
have them,
about
but if you're
closing
wanting to block
streets.
off the streets, they wouldn't be able to have them to the capacity that we have them now.
Which is good for our community. It is bringing outside people into the community. I still don't think it's a huge, maybe for the food trucks and the Masons and their food truck. I'm not saying we still shouldn't do those things. I'm just saying that I think we're canceling out our own ordinance, and I just don't understand the mindset of that.
We're not
So,
canceling out our.
yes, we are.
We're not canceling out our
Letting
own
trucks go
ordinance.
through
We're going
when
to
they're not
stop this
allowed.
conversation now, and we're going to
Yes.
move on and to our next committee report, and we will revisit this at the beginning of the year.
I just want to say one last comment. Every time we do have one of these events, we come to council and we take a vote, and if it's passed by majority, it's passed by majority. There's been lots of things I haven't wanted passed that have gotten passed because I've been on the minority. So sometimes, when it comes to
It's not
council.
about me, Becky.
I know,
It's
I know,
about
but
the
it is
village
about
residents over
6
there.
people.
No, it's more than 6 people.
It's 6 people
All
that
right,
vote.
we're moving on. We are moving on.
Sorry, you didn't get.
Parks and Rec. Becky.
Yes, so, let's see here. So we had our last meeting, and, I want to thank, we'll be making a motion here shortly. I want to thank the American Legion for their generous donation of $1,500 again for our fields. That just came in last week. And they also donated generously money for to help provide for the Taco Tuesday tomorrow. What that is, it's being hosted over at the Mad Hatter as Taco Tuesday. Anyone and everyone is welcome to come have free tacos. We're having regular tacos, chicken tacos, taco soup, walking tacos. You come and make your own taco. It's free for everyone. And if you would like to make a donation to the park, there'll be a park bucket there to make a donation to the park. So, so that's going on tomorrow from 11 to 2, and then again, Marcy, from 4 to 7. So, come on out and get a free taco, and if you'd like to contribute to the park, it would be appreciated. And then I did want to tell everyone that the first memorial bench in honor of Michael Starr has been ordered,
Yeah, they're in process.
in the process of being ordered. We are also in the process of setting up a program for future benches. If you have a loved one or something that you are interested in getting a memorial bench out at the park, we are setting up a process for that soon. We did go ahead and approve the concrete to be poured for the benches and the trash cans out at the park. We have pretty much narrowed down our phase 1 that we're going to do with our grant money, which is going to include hopefully another playground area with swings that would include swings for babies, children, and handicapped area of a park. And then we are also looking at trying to put in some trees and possibly, if there's any money left over, starting on a dog park. So those are the kind of the things on the top of our agenda for the park, and we're hoping to have a good comprehensive plan put together soon. Our next meeting will be the first Wednesday of November. I can't believe I'm saying November already, which is, do you have that date?
Would be November the 2nd.
November the 2nd at, are you guys back to having your meetings at 6 on Wednesdays? At 7 o'clock then?
Thank you. Record of retention, Andy.
Can I ask for a motion?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Mhm.
So this motion is to what Becky was alluding to about the donation from the American Legion for $1,500. This is for ball mix or material for the ball fields. And this is to be spent and accepted as revenues for only the Parks and Rec Fund.
Give you that motion.
I'll second.
Rob, Andy?
Roll call.
Okay. Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
And Bill?
Yes.
That's okay.
Record of retention, Andy.
Yeah, we met last Friday, October 7th. Had a great meeting, sorted through more stuff, which is in the hallway there, and we're going to keep on plowing forward. It's a public meeting, so if you have a passion about old records and would like to sort through them at 8 o'clock on a Friday morning, please come on down. We like to have you. Our next meeting will actually be on November the 4th, not November 2nd, November the 4th at 8 a.m.
Thank you. A nuisance and abatement, Joyce.
Thank you. We didn't meet last week because I was on a much-needed vacation. So we met this evening before the council meeting. Basically, we went over the spreadsheet, and we have determined that a lot of things have been cleared up. We have yards mowed, we have collections gone or almost gone. We have trailers on the streets that I've been told are gone, which is great. And look at my notes here. We really, I think we might have 2 violations that we're gonna follow up on. And my committee's gonna get back to me on a weekly basis as to when they do their drive-arounds in their areas. And we also validated our areas this evening as well, to make sure that everyone is on the same page as the map that we have as far as the areas that they're to monitor. So they're gonna start getting back with Courtney or Tom on a weekly basis and letting them know what they've found or discovered, whether it's good, bad, or in progress. So I appreciate the committee doing that for us. Our next meeting is on November 2nd at 6 o'clock. The couple of things I want to say, it's fall, it's leave season. And we want to make sure that the residents understand that we do not have leaf pickup in the village. So our request to you is please don't blow your leaves into the street, because that's going to filter down, it's going to get wet, it's going to get in the sewers, and we all know what's going to happen then. So we can't say it enough. Please do not blow the leaves in the street. Yeah, we have lots of kids that will come and rake leaves for you if you can't do it, or, you know, just, and also, we want to mention, you know, it's going to be a wet season, as most falls are, and we want to make sure that you don't just leave the leaves laying wet. Our next plan, going forward is going to be how to monitor sidewalks this winter and making sure sidewalks are maintained. The village does not maintain the sidewalks. That is up to each individual resident to do so.
Joyce, I got a question. Is that
Yes.
an ordinance? Because I know as a walker, I know a lot of these sidewalks can be very treacherous with the snow.
Yeah.
There already isn't.
That is an ordinance.
okay.
And if you have any questions, call into town hall, and you can talk to Mr. Byrne. You can leave a message for Courtney, and they can answer your questions, or they can filter them out to me, and we'll get them taken care of. But we want to just make sure that we continue on the path that we're on now, and with our committee, and make sure that the right behaviors are in place to maintain a nice-looking village. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Jack, do you know what the burn,
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Burn ban, 6 a.m. to 6
till
p.m.
December 1st.
December 1st? Okay.
We have to wait till after dark.
I just had that question today.
Say it again, the burn ban?
You cannot
Yeah,
burn
from
from
6
6 a.m. till 6 p.m.
I'm
Is that
sorry,
what you're
yeah.
saying?
No, let me
6 a.m.
confirm.
6 p.m.
to 6
I'll read
p.m.
it
That's why you
verbatim.
said.
Hold on. Okay, you can burn and have campfires from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The burn ban is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. until December the 1st.
Recently found it out. Should be. That's Rob. He probably knows more about it than me.
No, that came from,
I got that from
Fire
David.
department.
So, truckers have special GPSs that they route them.
It has to have a screen on top, it just can't be an
Proper
open
people know
burn,
It's in the computer system.
because that's how stuff gets burnt
Set on
down.
fire.
All right, planning and zoning, Andy.
Skipped one.
Oh, geez
Safety
Louise.
block watch.
Safety block watch.
Yeah, we had a
No,
meeting on the 4th.
Pick one.
We talked about Beggars Night. Myself, Rob, Dave, going to be out walking around, keeping our eyes peeled, watching for bad stuff. So I'll have my phone on me and might give the sheriff a call. Huh? I'll have to get it. Okay. Well, there you go. I'll do that.
I knew where that was going.
Yeah, if you want to give me your own number, I'll call you.
Oh, boy.
I'll call 911.
Like a-
Of course, that'd take a lot longer anyway.
There you go.
Might take 25 minutes to get somebody here.
Yeah.
Then we also talked about the sheriff's contract. We all realized if you go by the wording of the contract, it actually is not this coming March. It's coming up. It's following year. It's January of 2024, not 23. But we're kicking stuff around about that. That's about it. We've done a lot of talking about just a little bit, but I'm the worst one there is about taking notes.
Okay. Now, planning and zoning, Andy.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No, I really appreciate, as Becky mentioned, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with Arbor Homes this past week. They were a very nice group of people. We really, really, really want them in the community. The 47 houses which are added on to the existing Wingate original subdivision there are going to make a terrific, all-around just part of our community. And the nice part about Arbor is that they have worked with us from the very beginning. Ever since that they stepped in town, they've been very communicative, and we can't appreciate what they've done more. And so it was nice to be able to talk with all of them about what their future plans were and how excited they were to be a part, not only be a part of our community, but look at other opportunities here and see what was possible. And we, of course, said that we're open for business, and anybody who wants to build here is very much welcome and very much appreciated, and we would do what we could to get that done. So in other news, as far as building and zoning goes, we did not have anything yet because it's on the fourth Tuesday of the month. So it will be still this month. And in case anybody is tracking, it'll be, technically speaking, November the 22nd would be.
October 22nd?
No, November the 20, next month's will be, we haven't had one yet. We will be having one. It'll be the fourth Tuesday, and then the one following that is November the 22nd. I bring this up because not all of them have business, and so if there are no variances that are being requested, and there's nothing to discuss, this is a group that has a bias towards not having meetings. So we'll just skip it. But in theory, it'll be scheduled you'll have a couple opportunities before the end of the year to get a variance in to do all the stuff you need to do. But it'll be November 22nd, the one after this month.
Thank you.
Before we move on, Mayor, if I may go back to streets, I wasn't finished with some things that I wanted to discuss.
Oh, okay.
On a different note, I was asked to talk about a speed study. I mentioned it to you earlier. Did we ever get a formalized report of what the speed study entailed? How many cars, what time of days, how long?
No, I was never asked about doing one. I did
Okay.
one myself,
Okay,
just for my own.
sure.
I can't remember what I had wrote down, but Nick, you saw it. You saw what's in there too, I think.
Yeah.
I do remember the highest speed I had was 29 mile an hour, and I did make that comment to you. But other than that, I mean, I'm not gonna say they're not speeding, because when I'm not there, they
Sure.
probably are.
Do you remember what time of the days you were there?
I was there early in the morning, and then right in the just right before lunch, and then right before I get off. And I'd done that for a few days.
Okay, I
Well,
appreciate that.
On that note, I've talked with a resident before who has requested one of the automated strips that you drive over, and it records that for you, and I promised him that we would look into renting one. We probably can't buy one, but we can absolutely rent one.
Okay.
And in the process, we also decided to move forward with the stop signs too. So all of this should come together roughly about the same time, but we obviously want to get the stop signs out there as soon as we can.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Was that,
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I have a request concerning committees, if I may. We are wanting to form a tree committee. And so I wanted to just get an approval of council to add a tree committee to our committees. This tree committee would only meet once every other month. I did speak with Andy if I could be the council member, since he appoints members to committees on that committee, and that was fine with him. Tom Burns and Misty Vance would be other administrations that would be on that committee, and then Alan Chambers from Arbor Homes, who also lives in the community, Mr. Bill Storr, who used to live in our community and does a lot of the flower donation and work, and is actually bringing a master gardener to our community Wednesday again to give us a plan. And then Melanie Fritz, a former council member, and then Sydney Bree. They all would be the 7 tree committee members, and I would just like to get permission to form this committee, and then later we'll follow it up with the legislation. So,
Okay, so that has to be changed in the rules of council too, which is an ordinance.
well, I want to form the committee, and then I do want to follow it up with, there was some sort of technical difficulty on getting an ordinance for tonight, but we meet with this guy from the tree thing, and this was on our list to form this committee. Again, we don't have to meet until the legislation would be passed, but
I'm not sure legally, honestly, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, from my experience, is that you can't form the committee unless, because you have to have, you know, the rules of council changed to accept the committee. I mean, I'm looking.
I don't see any reason why we can't name the members, but we will have to actually amend and change it. So I would propose that we do this for the next go-around, so the legislation is finished, but if those individuals are willing to serve, I think we
Can approve those names.
I don't see any reason why we can't hold them where they are, get them teed up to get what they need to get done, and then go ahead and do a formal piece of legislation for next go-round.
I'm an attorney, so I don't know.
Well, as long as they're not meeting,
Right.
right? So we're not actually having any meetings on it. But if they're willing to serve, certainly we will take their time. Thank you for doing that. Expect legislation the next go-around, and a formal initial public meeting, maybe a kickoff meeting, will be scheduled after this council passes the legislation.
Does anybody have any thoughts, concerns on that at this time?
I think it's a great thing.
Can we make a motion?
I'll give you that motion.
Right, second it.
Okay. So we're,
Yeah, I'm not actually sure we need one if we're not voting on legislation. I
Well,
think
that's
we
what-
can,
that's
we can
what
just,
I'm
we can just pause for a moment then, as long as those folks are okay with us getting it in order for next go-round, which would, by the way, be in 10 days.
So
So,
we didn't need a motion to propose the legislation.
no, it's only when we bring the legislation in front
To the
of
table.
council.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just know we make motions on, like, can we close a street? And we just make a motion and pass it. Can we accept money? So I thought maybe we could just get this tree
Like an
committee.
actual motion from council,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
But you do have it on the floor, so I mean, you might as well read it through, because you did have a first motion from Rob and a second one
Well,
from Becky.
if, sure, unless, yeah.
it's just to form a committee, and then we'll pass legislation before we meet. So,
So, roll call, David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Sorry.
all right, that takes us to ordinances and resolutions.
Okay. Ordinance, the first one will be on the third reading. This is ordinance 2022-14, an ordinance to amend the village's fee schedule in sections 1242-08 of the village's codified ordinance.
So I need a motion to place this on the third reading.
You have that motion?
I'll second it.
David, Rob?
Mm-hmm. Roll
Okay,
call?
Becky?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Now I need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-14.
I'll give you that.
And I'll second it.
Andy, Rob.
Andy and Rob? Okay, Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And Becky?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-14 is passed. The next ordinance is ordinance 2022-15, an ordinance adopting a general contract registration policy. This is on the third reading.
Can I have a discussion real quick about this one? I was just wondering, so I understand general contractors that are building something like a house or a room addition have to be licensed and all that. But how about like general contract? Does someone that just does handyman work, would this apply to him too?
Applies to, if you look at the legislation, all those things are at the top of that header, and unfortunately, I apologize, I don't have it immediately in front of me, but it applies just to those things that are named trades on the top of the registration form.
Okay. You have it, Marcy?
No, this is on
Oh,
the third. I don't
yeah.
read-
I guess again,
Pay that fee when they went, they had to pull a permit. They pay that fee when they go to pull a permit.
They
so-
pay it actually once a year whenever they
Here's one.
come in to register.
Okay.
So it is not on a, it is not on a per job basis, nope, it is.
So-
I know it's on a per job basis, but
Right.
if the job requires a permit, then they need to, is that how it reads?
it says,
No,
the type of
no, the
registration,
registration form doesn't, no.
a general contractor, electric, mechanical, gas line, or other. So if I just see somebody on Facebook that says, I can fix your steps. And again, I guess I just question too, how is it gonna be enforced? I know, someone brought this up before, on how this would even be policed, like, I guess if they were working for the village, if they got a contract with the village, I see how it would be enforced, but if they just called, if I called them and said, hey, it would be my responsibility to ask if they're registered with the village? And is there any punishment to me if I don't ask? Or,
No, of course, there's never a punishment for a resident who doesn't ask. It's a question of whether or not the resident is actually interested in, is their person been vetted, or are they a storm chaser, or where are they from, and what's their actual contact information? We've had a significant problem, I'll be candid with you, with people who drive through here and say, I'll fix your steps, no problem, and then what happens? The concrete work's shoddy.
so, okay.
So, or actually the better one is, as I always use, is bad roofing. Now, we have lots of reputable roofers here in town, all of whom are registered with other municipalities immediately around here. And they know exactly, we have trades representation on our committee right now. And so this isn't done, as a burden on somebody. This is so that we understand what's going on.
Okay, so,
And I'm concerned, frankly, about, candidly, our elderly residents get taken advantage of, and it is a significant problem after wind events. Roofing is the most common one.
Andy, you brought up good too. There's these storm chasers, and the first ones they stop at is the senior citizens.
They bang on doors, and
Yeah,
they
right.
basically say, hey, I see you got some, 2 square, it's loose. And we've all had it. People have stopped by. You don't know where they're from. They may or may not have a card or a tag or anything, and they just basically say, hey, your chimney's lopsided. I can fix that for you. It's stuff like that. And frankly, it goes also back to the no solicitation rule. But at the end of the day, we're trying to give people a fair shake. And no, it's not on every job. It's not on every permit. It's not like that at all.
but, so let's say there is a wind event and someone stops at an elderly person's house, unless the elderly person knew to contact the village, it wouldn't
Well,
help them.
Sure it would. It basically, I'm sorry, are you registered? Are you licensed, bonded, insured? I ask these questions all the time.
Okay, so who is your committee, the planning and zoning, or?
Yep, building and zoning.
So are they determining, if I say I'm a contractor, I don't just come in here, pay my $75, I have to get vetted? You guys are vetting them?
First of all, I guess I don't understand where you're going. I don't understand the line of questioning, but I will answer to the best that I can. And that is, yes, we do ask that you fill out the form to the best of your ability. You provide an actual name, address, telephone number. Most of the time, these folks are licensed by either the county or the state, depends on what trade you're doing and what you're actually trying to get done at your residence. And so, yeah, they will know pretty much the routine, and it allows us understanding of what's going on in the community by various folks who are coming through here.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, so I'll ask for a motion to place this on the third reading.
You have that motion?
Okay, Joyce, is there a second?
I'll second.
David, second. Roll call, please.
Andy,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
No.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay.
You go ahead, sorry. Motion for passage.
Oh, yeah, motion for passage of ordinance 2022-15. Could I have that motion?
You got that motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
Just
David,
reverse?
Joyce?
Yeah. Roll call.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes. No, sorry.
No?
I got caught up in my
I got it.
reading.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-15 has passed. Lastly, I believe is our last ordinance, is ordinance 2022-16, an ordinance enacting section 1271-11 of the private swimming pool regulations. This is on the third reading.
Is there a motion to place this on the third reading?
I'll give you
Make a
that.
motion.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Okay, I'll second it.
No,
then.
no, no,
Okay.
Bill goes for Bill
No,
went
no,
first.
make Andy.
Bill first?
Bill first. And a second. Yeah.
Do we get points if we first it instead?
Buzz in first.
Okay, so that was Bill and Andy.
Yeah.
The roll call is Bill,
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Now I need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-16.
You have that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Dave, Rob?
Mm-hmm.
Roll call, Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-16 is passed.
Okay.
My hand is about to fall off today.
That will take us to our round table, if anybody has anything.
Oh, I'd like to bring up tonight, being one of the commanders of the American Legion, every time we try to reach out to this community, this always makes me feel good what we do, because this makes your community even better, and this makes you feel good as a part of the members of 417. And also, I want to bring up, October is, in Canada's National Responder Day, but we honor in our village, our responders here in the good old little village of Mount Sterling. We got a good sheriff department, a good squad, and a great fire department for a small village. And many people I've talked to about the squad or the fire department can only has good things to say about them. And I just wanted to bring that up.
I appreciate their help in handling all the fire hydrant issues that we have been working through this past couple of years, and the chief's willingness to help us not only exercise them, but also identify points of failure. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
I had, what's Saturday, the day of that, October 25th? Okay. Yeah. A couple things I want to just tell everybody about. You've probably seen the signs around town and lots of notifications on Facebook, but October the 22nd is the holiday bazaar at the community center. They always have a huge turnout of vendors. And then the downtown businesses will also be having a shop hop that day. So go out and support all of your local entrepreneurs. And then also the haunted house is the 28th, 29th, and 30th, as we mentioned earlier. And then last but not least, a reminder that trick or treat is the 31st from 5 to 7. Oh, yeah, the Youth League is having their trunk or treat out at Mason Park from 5 to 8.
5 to 7, I believe.
Well, they extended it an hour.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I think it was 6 to 8, now it's 5, so they can have a little more daylight. So it's, and if anybody wants to be one of the trunks and pull their car out there and distribute candy on the 30th at Mason Park, that would be awesome. That's all I have.
Anyone else?
I do. I want to, as a reminder to let people know, we are having again on the 22nd of October, kind of a mini fall cleanup, if you will. The street garage will be unlocked if anyone wants to take any furniture, same as the spring cleanup, out there and dump it. They're welcome to. If you have something that you want picked up that is not on the list of exclusions, which is paint and tires and
Paint,
stuff.
tires, electronics like TVs, stuff of that nature.
Okay.
Just make sure myself or Bill come to get it, that it is outside of the house. We will not
Yes.
be coming inside anybody's dwelling.
Preferably out on the curb.
On the curb.
Preferably on the curb, yes.
I've not heard about this. What time is it?
It's
From 8 to 4.
8 to 4 on October 22nd. And again, I encourage you to call into Town Hall and let them know if you have something you want picked up. And to reiterate what Rob said, make sure that if you do call and have that scheduled to be picked up, it's on the curb, please.
Or front porch, we're just not going inside anybody's
Right,
house.
right. Well, that would alleviate stairs too, if they could get it.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
closer they can
my
get
knees
to the
would
curb.
appreciate it.
So I think, yeah, we're gonna do that again this fall, and Rob's taking the lead on that, and we appreciate that very much. But that's from 8 to 4 on the 22nd.
Do you guys need any dumpsters or anything for that, or no?
No, we're gonna do it all at the street
We don't
garage.
think we're gonna see as big response as we did with spring clean out. We got enough room with the dumpster up at the garage. This gives people a chance to clean up before snow flies, before it gets cold out, which will probably make it a lot easier as well come springtime cleanup.
Right. Right.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for the long meeting. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.
Good evening.
Well, the question I have for you that kind of, my verbiage isn't there, is with enforcing the being registered, when they go to apply for a job and have to pull a permit, the permit